it's not just abrasive discs. OSHA data on diamond blades puts the fatality rate at roughly 60% when a segment detaches mid-cut. 60%. A diamond blade spinning at speed and losing a bonded segment isn't throwing dust at you. It's throwing a chunk of tungsten carbide composite at ballistic velocity. That's a completely different injury mechanism from an abrasive disc shattering, and it barely gets mentioned in the cheap versus expensive conversation because the conversation usually stops at which grinder to buy, not which disc to put on it. So what actually separates a safe setup from a dangerous one isn't the tool's price tag. It's a piece of paper you'll never read unless you go looking for it. Every legitimate abrasive disc sold in Europe carries an EN 12413 marking, and every one sold to spec in North America carries ANSIB 7.1. That marking has to include the maximum rated speed in both meters per second and RPM, and here's the rule that actually keeps you alive. That number has to be equal to or higher than your grinder's spindle speed. If your grinder spins at 12,000 revolutions per minute and the disc on it is only rated for 10,200, the linear speed at the edge of that disc exceeds what it was built to survive, and it can come apart in your hands. That's not a cheap tool problem. That's a mismatched disc problem, and you can create it with a top-shelf Bosch just as easily as with a bargain bin no name. Which is where the counterfeits come in, and this is the part nobody puts in the thumbnail. A buyer's guide from an industrial supplier lists the warning signs of a fake disc. No speed rating stamped anywhere, no expiration date, vague packaging, and a price that's suspiciously below the market average. Bakelite bonded discs degrade over 3 years even sitting in a drawer, and an expired one loses the structural strength that keeps it from flying apart mid-cut. None of that shows up when you're comparing an $11 grinder to a $200 one. It shows up when you're standing in front of a wall of discs at a hardware store, and the 20-pack for $4 has no markings on it at all. Flap discs, cutting discs, grinding wheels. The format doesn't matter. If there's no EN or ANSI stamp, you're buying blind.